Hello everyone. Today we are continuing paragraph formatting and margins, text alignment we have done in the previous video. Today we will be doing indents and tabs, leader lines and line spacing. Okay, so let's begin it. Okay, so the next topic is indents and tabs, right? The distance between the text boundaries and the page margin is called indents, right? This is a page margin, right? And this is the text boundary. So the space that we have left here between the page margin and the text boundary is called the indent, right? So indent is just not this place but also this, right? So you see I have left some space before the second line and third line also, right? You can see, so this is my boundary, this is the text boundary, and this space, right? So this space is also indent space, right? So we can settle these indents using the tab key, using indent buttons, and using indent markers on the ruler, right? And then we can even modify the default settings, right? So let's see one by one how this works. So first of all, the tab key, right? So this is my margin. I decrease this margin. Now you see the easiest method is just take the mouse pointer to the place where you want to give the first line of indent and just press tab key, right? So this is one way, right? So this is one way, the easiest way, right? Next is using the indent buttons, right? So I just show you where these indent buttons are. I have opened a home tab, and in the paragraph group you see this is decrease indent button and this is increase indent button, right? Now I select all the paragraph to which I want to give the indent. Now I press this indent button from the paragraph group. So you see my text is moving towards the right margin and leaving the space with this left margin and the text boundary. So you see a lot of space here. So this is indent. I can increase the indent by pressing this button and decrease or make it come back to the original position using the decrease indent, right? So this is how this indent button works. Okay, so the next method of creating indent is using the indent buttons, right? In the home tab there is a paragraph group. Okay, so there you have decrease indent and increase indent button, right? So now we'll be applying indent using indent buttons. Okay, so let's say I selected all the paragraph to which I want to create the indent. Now if I press this increase indent button, you see my text is moving towards the right side. Okay, so this is increase indent button. So as much indent I want to create, I can do so, right? And reverse of this can happen by using the decrease indent button. You see I can bring it back, right? So this is the indent using the indent buttons. Next is using the indent markers on the ruler, right? This is a horizontal ruler, so I need to give indent using these markers on the ruler, right? So you see the first marker is called first line indent, this is called hanging indent, and this is called left indent, right? So first line of indent will take the only first line of each paragraph from their respective position towards the right side, and if I move the hanging indent, it will take the rest of the part of the paragraph towards the right side, and if I move the left, it will take the position of entire paragraph towards the right side. So let's see how this works. Now I select all the paragraph to which I want to give the indents. Now I just move the first line of indent to this point. So you see all the paragraph have got the indent. The first line of each paragraph has come to this point, right? You can see. Now I select again. I again select the paragraphs. I give the first line of indent, and now you see I give the hanging indent and move this to this place, right? So the rest part of the paragraph has come to this point, you see. So this is my This is how my document is looking. Now if I move this left indent, both the markers are moving. You see, both the markers are moving all together, right? So this is how our first line of indent, our hanging indent and left indent works using the horizontal ruler, right? The next topic is to modify the default indent settings. For this we have home tab, and in the paragraph group we will open the paragraph dialog box. So I select the entire document, I open the paragraph dialog box, and in the indentation section I give about half an inch left indent and right indent also 0.5, that is half inch. And in special we have three options: none, first line indent and hanging indent. So I choose first line indent and I give it one value, that is 1 inch. And preview is also showing us the how the document would look. So if I click set as default, so it will ask me two options, that is this to apply this setting for this document only, or to all document based on the normal templates, right? So for now I'll choose this for this document only. I click OK. So this is how my settings will be, right? So this is how I can change my settings, default setting, right? Okay, so the next in the same category we have tab stops. So just listen carefully. Tab stops are the predefined text position on the ruler bar that are used to indent a paragraph or a line. Okay, so these are predefined text positions, right? We will define it once and then our text will follow those indentions by default, right? So we have two ways of applying this. One is by using the tab selector from here. So this area is called tab selector. So this is called tab selector. We can choose this particular tab and then we can apply here on the text. And second is setting tabs using the tabs dialog box. So I'll show you one by one how they works, right? So for example, this is a paragraph. I select this paragraph and I choose the first line of indent. So first line indentation icon has appeared here. Now I want my first line indent to be here. Okay, so you see it is applicable now. Now I choose the hanging indent and I give this place to my hanging indent, right? So you saw these two indentions are fixed now. Now I want to give the right indent. So I'll choose here from the tab selector. This is my right indent and I'll give it this place at 0.6. So this will be fixed for the right indentation, right? So this is how this will be working for the paragraph. Now you see, if I type here, my paragraph is ending, and if I press enter, my next paragraph which I'll be writing now, that will follow these intentions by default, right? So I press enter, my cursor has come to the place of the first line of indent, right? It was fixed, so it is following the same thing. So if I keep typing something, so you see it will be following the same thing, right? So now you see the hanging indent was defined here, so the next paragraph is following this place. I hope this is clear to you. This is one method of defining this. Now the next method is using now we will define the tabs using the tabs dialog box. Now I'll open paragraph dialog box. I'll click here in the tab. Now I open my tabs dialog box, click here, and now I'll define my first tab stop at place 1. I'll click set, then I press 2, I click set. Now next 3 set, 4 set, 5 set and 6 set, right? And click OK. So my tab stop will be defined here. Now I'll write roll number and I press tab key from the keyboard. My mouse pointer will jump, my cursor will jump at the one place where I have defined the tab. So now I'll write English, press tab. It is directly jumping to the place of the tab stop I have defined. Now I'll write Hindi, I'll write maths, I'll write science, I'll write English, Hindi, maths, science, SST, and for let's say computer, right? So it is just following some grammatic rules, so that's how it is showing this green line. So we can ignore this, and I'll press 1. From 1 I'll press tab key. English, it has got, now you see automatically tab stops are stopping at the place so you see how these tab stops work. Once we define it, is very easy for us to work systematically following these tab stops, and it makes our work very neat, very clear, and very easy for us. The next topic is leader lines, right? So you see I have opened the tabs dialog box, and here we have a leader. So leader lines are basically lines that we insert before the tab, which are dotted, dash, or solid line, right? So when we press tab key from the keyboard, what happens? The mouse pointer jumps from one place to the other place, right? Following the tab, and that space is blank space always. So to fill that blank space, we can use the dotted line, right, or dashed line, or solid line, right? So why it is used? It is used to improve the readability of a document, right? So now we are studying about leader lines. You see I have defined these headings, and I have defined one tab stop at 3 and next tab stop at 5. So now I will define the leader line. So I'll open the tabs dialog box. Now by default it is defined none, so I'll select this dotted line, right? I'll click OK. Now you see this is how my leader line will appear. Now I'll write 1, I'll press tab key. You see now I'll write English subject. So this is basically increasing the readability of the document, right? So like this we can give the lead line. So I am just pressing the tab key and these leader lines are appearing, right? So this is how leader line works. I hope it is clear to you now. So next is line spacing. What is line spacing? Line spacing refers to the vertical distance between the consecutive lines of a text. Is available here in the paragraph group. We can have this line spacing option, right after the alignment option, horizontal alignment. So we have this line spacing. So according to the amount of line we want to give, we can give the line. So there we have option of add space before the paragraph. You see how this space is getting added. Now you see, just observe the paragraph right behind this small dialog box and add the space after the paragraph. You see the difference, if you can notice. So whatever we will select, that option will be applied to the text, right? So I'll select the entire document, I'll choose it, and I give this line spacing 3. So this is how my document is appearing, right? So if I select it back, I choose the line spacing 1.5. so this is how my document would look. So now I select and add the space before the paragraph, right? So now let's see, I select all the paragraph, I'll add space after the paragraph. So you see, after each paragraph there is the space is added, right? So this also increases the readability of a document and it looks very good, right? So that's all about the paragraph formatting. You must practice this. They are very easy but very important. Once you will practice it, then only you will learn it, how to use it frequently to make your document look more organized, formatted, right? So keep practicing, keep learning. Take care and goodbye.